Hey YouTube Garage, how's it going? Just winding up for the night. Winding down, I guess. And AJ didn't have time to get those mounts done. He forgot the patterns at when he left the other day. He took patterns that I had made for the plates to go in the block, and I had 1/4-inch plates was overkill, and I was going to put 1/8-inch plates in, which I think would have been fine based on how close the bolts were, but they didn't have any 1/8-inch where he's working. He's going to use some pieces of scrap, and he had 3/16, so it'll be a little thinner than I had and thicker than I wanted, and I actually think 3/16 will likely work better than the 1/8. Anyway, you're going to have to get down in here and notch the cross member for transmission mount. And when I put that back on, shifter lines up almost perfect. It's going to be nice. And looking forward to that. And off the side of the block, I'm going to have a steel plate. How can I do that? And off that steel plate, I'm going to mount this a section of this tubing. I'm going to cut it and mount that sticking out horizontally, and then I'll put the bushing on like that. Now, I don't want to do all this fitting and screwing around with the bushing in place because, you know, I don't want to heat it up. Now, the bushing, as you can see, I made the sleeve to meet excuse me, to be long enough for this section here, but the inner part here is a little bit longer by about 3/8 of an inch on each end. So to test fit without this bushing in place is going to be a little bit awkward. So what I did in the meantime was I took this dimension and made dummies with just some spare tubing, and I just tack welded some fender washers in there. They're about the same height, and I'll just drill the holes out, and then I can put bolts on them, and they'll be solid mounts, but it's just so I can fit, and then instead of having to weld and cut, the last minute I'll just take those off and put the good ones in once everything's fitted. So I think that'll work good. And hey, Tommy Shoe, Trans Am, holds the vise good. Holds the vise real good. How about the grinder? SST. Yeah, it's the genuine article. Pretty wide one too. I think it's about 9.5, 10 inch. It works good for the grinder pedestal. A couple more things. Somebody was talking about using an old roll of welding wire in their MIG welder that had been open for a while, and when I'm not welding for a while, I will take the wheel or the roll of wire out of the welder, and I'll stick it in a Ziploc bag with a couple of those silica sand little pouches to keep the moisture out. But I have had some that got a little bit of surface rust on them, and you know what that's like. Well, you can't do a lot with the stuff that's rusty on the top, but the stuff that's in there that just might have some dirt and crap in it, what I do, and it's worked well, I just soak it down with weld spatter release agent. It soaks in, and then if you see here, I'll turn it so the light's a little better. Old piece of green Scotch-Brite and a couple of alligator clips on the wire. And I spray that, and it cleans the wire going into the welder, and it works good. I had some that was just a little bit of rust, and that took it right off, and every once in a while you just have to move this a little bit. But all it is it's a small piece of green Scotch-Brite doubled over with the 2 alligator clips on it, so it's easy to move, and you can see it slides easily on there. Works great. It works just fantastic. When I started doing that, I stopped having problems if the welder had sat for a while and we'd had rain and stuff like that. Welding helmets. My face is on fire. This is one I used to have at work. The one I had at home is a real old fiber metal, and it's about half the weight. I got bored one day. You know, warning, the pilot seat in this airplane is loaded with an air explosive charge. Ejector seat. Recycled NASA equipment. I was bored. I was trying a new something I learned about taking a picture out of a magazine and making it into my own thin decal or sticker. And it involved taking the decal or the picture and quite a few light layers of clear, and I just used a rattle can clear and let it set. You know, do it just like I was painting clear, let it tack and put another thin layer on, and I did about 6 or 8 thin layers with the rattle can. And then I let it sit for, I don't know, maybe a week or 2. And then I took it and put it in the sink and just ran some warm water on the back where the paper was, and I just took my finger and rubbed the paper off the back, which made it a lot thinner, and I basically rubbed it back to where the ink was, so all I was left with was the ink from the original magazine page, or wherever I got the logos from. Worked not bad, but I should have taken a little more off the back, I think. And that's how I did that. Oh, phone's ringing. And anyway, I think I'm going to shut down and get this posted, and we'll catch you later.